coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
I'm used to people yelling.
One, two, one, two, one, two. Oh, really? And then like 2 minutes.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Testing weather microphone. Hello, hello, hello.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 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 check.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Saxton. Tonight we're hearing from a Chattanooga hotel clerk who says he feared for his life in an encounter with a guest.
Police say the guest was Jeffrey Brummett, a former UTC defensive assistant coach. Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell sat down with the man who recalls the moments that led to the incident. Tanisha.
Well, Brandon Sanders has been an employee at the Residence Inn downtown for the past 5 months. The 29-year-old is working towards a career in hotel management. He says this is the first time he's ever experienced something like this.
I'm used to people yelling. That's fine. But then whenever I started with the threats, that's whenever I was kind of taken aback.
Brandon Sanders says there's rarely any trouble during the night shift at the Residence Inn on Chestnut Street. But he says that changed Friday just before midnight.
The guy came down to buy a bag of chips and said that his key didn't work. You could tell he had been drinking. I just figured it was a user error because most people put them in the wrong way. So I remade his key and then he went back upstairs.
The guest returned about 6 minutes later. Sanders says this time the guest threatened him because his key card still didn't work.
I was cussing in the lobby, saying he was going to hang me up with a noose, strangle me to death, beat me to a pulp, all because his key didn't work.
About 10 minutes later, police arrested Jeffrey Brummett. The arrest report says officers immediately smelled alcohol on Brummett and in his hotel room. Brummett was hired as a UTC assistant football coach in 2007. In 2015, he moved to East Tennessee State University. Brummett was charged with assault, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication. Sanders plans to return to work as normal. He says he won't let this incident hold him back.
But something's always going to happen no matter what you do. So I could try to change and be like, oh, now I'm too scared to go into hotel management. But then it's just going to stop me from doing something I really want to do. So it just helped me, gave me a learning experience.
ETSU officials tell us Brummett is suspended without pay until the investigation ends. Court records show Brummett bonded out of jail the same day of the hotel incident. We've reached out to Brummett for comment but have not heard back. Live in the studio, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Tanisha. Family and friends held a vigil for the 20-year-old who lost his life in yesterday's shooting on Glenwood Drive. People placed candles and balloons on the corner of Woodside Street and 13th Avenue in honor of D'Angelo Marshall, who was a Tyner Academy graduate. Friends of Marshall tell Channel 3 it was important to honor his life in his own neighborhood. Police arrested 19-year-old Jacoby Jordan in connection with the shooting that killed Marshall and injured another. Court records show $100 worth of marijuana is what led to the shootout. A close friend of Marshall says she is still in shock over what happened.
Hurt, it hit so close to home. He didn't deserve it at all, at all. He didn't mess with me. He didn't even hang around with a lot of people. He hung around with a select few of these guys I heard he hung with. So I don't see how that even happened at all. He didn't bother anybody.
Investigators believe the shooting was not gang motivated and are asking anyone with information to call them. Court documents say Jordan is being held on a $250,000 bond. He's expected to be in court in 2 weeks.
New tonight, newly released documents show the Ray County Sheriff must submit a plan to make jail improvements in just the next few days before the end of the month. There were a total of 6 issues found during an inspection by the state fire marshal. According to a report, Ray County Jail is overcrowded and in such bad condition that it is especially prone to fire and is in dangerous condition.
A Varnell City Council member has turned himself in to the Whitfield County Jail. Deputies arrived at Sheldon Fowler's house after his wife called 911 2 weeks ago. They say Fowler had taken Ambien with alcohol and became aggressive towards his family. When deputies arrived, they say Fowler insulted the officers and poked them in the chest with his finger. He wasn't arrested at the time, but warrants were issued 10 days later. He turned himself in earlier this evening.
Today marks 35 years since a Dunlap firefighter died in the line of duty. Firefighter Ricky Hitchcox was killed while battling a blaze at what was known as Klein's Building Supply back in 1982. Hitchcox's name is inscribed on the wall at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Emmitsburg, Maryland, the Tennessee Fallen Firefighters Memorial, and on Dunlap's own memorial in the lawn of the fire department building. Today, members of the fire department placed flowers at his grave. Hitchcox is the only known line-of-duty death for the Dunlap Fire Department.
Chattanooga City Council voted in favor of enacting a special district for short-term vacation rentals like Airbnb. The proposed district would include the North Shore and Lookout Valley areas. 2 weeks ago, the council postponed a vote after private school officials asked them to consider putting a buffer zone in place. A second vote is still needed before it can be officially passed, and that vote is scheduled for July 11th. The City Council also voted to allow the Chattanooga Fire Department to accept reimbursement from Pigeon Forge. The city of Pigeon Forge is giving the fire department $28,000 for labor and equipment used during the November wildfires.
A judge has cleared the way for state and local authorities to release new information about the emergency response to the Gatlinburg wildfires. 14 people died and 2,500 structures were damaged late last year. 2 teenagers faced charges in connection with the fires. A gag order was issued in the juvenile case. That means officials cannot talk about that case. On June 5th, though, a judge ruled the order only applies to attorneys and court officers on the case, not to outside agencies. This means the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency can release its records. TEMA officials have not yet, but they say they're working as quickly as possible.
Seems like such a long time ago that we had such a dry spell, and now we seem to be back to normal. What about it, Paul? Are we?
Now we're about 5.5 inches above normal in rain. I just want to show you what's going to happen over the next 7 days as far as temperatures go. We're going to be below normal in those temperatures. Normal highs 89 to 90 degrees for the next 7 days, and we're going to get close to that by the end of the period, and we're fairly close for tomorrow. But these temperatures are going to be fairly cool compared to what they should be this time of year, and that's mainly because of the northerly winds. Vipercast is showing those winds throughout the morning. By noon, the winds start to shift. They really are going to be light to begin with, and then they're going to be coming out of the south, and we may see a few afternoon clouds, but generally a lot of sunshine for tomorrow. Then overnight, coming up tomorrow night and into Thursday morning, wouldn't be impossible to see a sprinkle, but that's about it. I think at 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, again, generally dry air. See more arrows coming up, and that's the southeasterly winds continuing. And then overnight into Thursday night, then into Friday morning, a pretty good chance for some showers developing, especially into Friday. And right now we're thinking by Friday morning, most of the heavy rain is going to be south of the city, maybe about a ½ inch to an inch. North of the city, pretty much about a ½ inch or less, especially as you get into some of our really northern counties. I've got the complete 7-day forecast, and we'll tell you about a chance for some more rain. That's all coming up.
Paul, thanks. We'll check back in with you shortly. The Chambliss Center for Children celebrated new living spaces with a ribbon cutting today.
The center recently completed 2 duplexes, each with 2 one-bedroom units. This is part of the center's new transitional living program. The program is designed to help young people who are aging out of the foster care system. Chambliss now has 4 duplexes. Officials with the Chambliss Center say it's very important for children to have a place to go as they transition out of foster care.
If they don't have somewhere to go, they end up homeless or in gangs, in the jail system. And so we want to give them a chance. We want them to have a chance to have a good life and to get an education and to move on beyond that foster care system.
Officials say they plan to build 4 more duplexes in the future. After the break here at 11, a Georgia woman accused of leaking highly classified information made her first appearance in court.
And coming up later in sports, an exclusive one-on-one interview with Atlanta Falcons All-Pro defensive end Vic Beasley.
Hey everybody, it's Leslie Dale with the TFP, and we are going Music Wednesday at noon on our Facebook page, Chattanooga Times Free Press. A beautiful singer, Christian, blues, soul, Robin Grant will be joining Barry Corder and I. Hope to see you there.
The trial for a national security agency contractor accused of leaking documents is set for this fall. Reality Winner was in federal court today in Augusta, Georgia for a hearing. Winner is accused of mailing classified documents to journalists regarding the investigation into whether Russia interfered with the 2016 presidential campaign. Her trial is scheduled to begin October 23rd.
After years in the works and plenty of controversy, a 10 Commandments monument now stands tall at the Arkansas State Capitol. The commandments did not get there without opposition. This past year, the Satanic Temple argued for their own monument, putting Baphomet alongside the monument. Lawmakers this session voted that down. Some say the monument was a long time coming. Others say it goes against the First Amendment and separation of church and state.
For me, I'm grateful to the Arkansas legislature and Governor Asa Hutchinson that has made this possible.
I'm appalled that they've actually gone through with it.
The monument there in Arkansas is a replica of a display at the Texas Capitol that was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2005.
Prince Charles visited a relief center set up to help those affected by the Grenfell Tower fire. The Prince of Wales met with survivors and community and charity volunteers while visiting Westway Sports Center near the fire site in West London. He was seen shaking hands and speaking with those affected by the tragedy. Charles is the president of the British Red Cross and reportedly made a donation to the relief effort. The devastating fire killed at least 79 people.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 11, wildfires are threatening much of the western part of the country.
Firefighters are working around the clock to fight the blaze, and some families have already had to leave their homes. We'll have the latest after the break.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
In the western part of the country, huge fires are burning in several states.
The largest of those fires has burned more than a week and charred acres of land. It decimated a few homes. It's forced residents to find safety too. NBC's Dan Shinneman has the latest.
Wildfires are sweeping across parts of the West. The largest of the fires in a resort area of Utah. Flames scorched 72 square miles and burned more than a dozen homes. Crews are trying to fight fires in dry and windy conditions that have produced flames up to 100 feet high. Officials say there is high potential for extreme fire behavior. In Arizona, the Goodwin fire burns north of Phoenix. Some residents have been forced to leave.
The couple up the hill, he's a pastor, and they've been praying, and we've all been praying, and then This is terrifying.
I'll be safe. You know, it's just a house. I just get the important stuff and the hell with the rest.
More fire east of Los Angeles. Firefighters dealt with temperatures around 100 degrees and strong winds that pushed flames across some 300 acres of San Bernardino County. The county sheriff's department has ordered some evacuations. Firefighters are expected to keep battling these blazes in the coming days, the start of what could be a dangerous summer. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
Weather extremes across Tennessee this year have caused blueberry shortages in parts of the state, but not at one local farm. Tidwell's Berry Farm in Ray County was almost sold out of blueberries today. By the time our Channel 3 crew arrived around noon, it was touch and go through the growing season. Loyal customers stopped by to scoop up as many of those blue gems as possible, some buying 10 to 15 gallons. The success of the blueberries is helping make up for fewer peaches and the Tidwells' decision to take a break from strawberries this year.
The blueberries were luckily not blooming when we had freezes, so and they can stand, depending on the blossom development, stage of development, they can stand some pretty severe temperatures.
This is the last year the Tidwells will be selling peaches. They say they'll resume selling strawberries in 2018. They also say the farm will be open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays through July. But you should call first to find out what's available that day.
Are you hungry yet?
Yeah, ready for some blueberries.
Paul Bears of the Storm Alert Center. What about it, Paul?
I call that fruit god's candy, you know. That's the way to look at it. Okay, on the weather headlines, we got a warmer day coming up for tomorrow, but the humidity levels are still going to be low. So it's going to be cool in the morning, but really warm into the afternoon, getting into the mid to upper 80s. A shower could develop on Thursday, but a better chance, I think, into Friday and at least into Saturday, too. Looking at the radar right now, all the showers are down to Florida. They're moving offshore, a little bit of rain along the Gulf Coast in Louisiana, but the worst of weather right now, by far and away, is out in Nebraska, where there's severe thunderstorms, some hail, very strong gusty winds too from the Dakotas, but the severe thunderstorm watch right now is in Nebraska, but there's really not that much happening over the eastern half of the country. Currently, the winds are calm. It's 69 in the city and it's 63 in Cleveland and Dalton. Again, that little heat bubble sitting right over the city keeps our temperatures much warmer. While you go in outlying areas like Athens, 59, 64 in Dayton, 62, Altamonte already 55. In Murphy was 61 out in Blue Ridge. High today was 82. The overnight low was 62, pretty close to our forecast. And we're 5.5 inches above normal in rain. We'll probably have to wait to the weekend to get anything measurable out of this. 81 in Dalton, 85 in Tryon today from the Skywatchers. Chatsworth at 84. Well, Fort Mountain was only 72, while it was 75 up in the Blue Ridge. That was pretty nice. And then up towards Mowbray Mountain it was 78. 74 at Signal Mountain and only 78 and Lookout Mountain. Was 79 Ooltewah, 81 in Cleveland, 84 Soddy Daisy. Ringgold, Johnny Parks told me 79 with Dayton at 81. 81 in Pikeville, 82 in Dunlap, 82 in Jasper, and in the 70s from Cagle Mountain to Colmont. Near 80 out in Murphy, and 75 Turtletown, Delano was 81. Now, this is the latest Vipercast, again showing that easterly wind or northerly wind coming down over the Carolinas. Our wind's still coming out of the north a little bit, but they're going to be light. And then into the afternoon, they're going to shift. They'll be coming out of the south, and that's going to increase the humidity levels just a little bit, especially into Thursday. Not so much for tomorrow. Then scattered showers will develop into Thursday afternoon. Slight chance for a thunderstorm, but the thing to give us thunderstorms is this little wave out in Mississippi. This is Friday morning. See that big area, that little arc of rain? That's going to be heading our way into Friday, and that's our best chance for some showers and some thunderstorms. After it passes, the rain stops for a while and then returns coming up into Saturday afternoon as a cold front comes in. If that cold front stalls, we may get more rain. Vipercast is still very aggressive on this, saying 1 to 2 inches of rain possible. I think more likely a ½ inch to an inch. Tonight, though, 60 with clear skies and light winds. Tomorrow, 87 with plenty of sunshine. Then tomorrow night, 68, fair skies and light winds. Humidity levels will start going up into Wednesday night and Thursday. Only a 20% chance for a shower or so late in the day with 83. Then we increase the chances coming up into Friday and Saturday. Sunday, isolated showers and just warm and muggy coming up for Monday and Tuesday of next week. But tomorrow, pretty nice day, especially in the morning. It's going to be great again.
That's amazing. Paul, thank you. Well, 3 semifinalists have been selected to create the design for the permanent memorial for the fallen 5 service members.
Those men were killed during the terror attack on July 16th in Chattanooga. 50 artists applied for the job. The semifinalists are Gordon Huther and Gates, plus associates, Shane Albritton and Norm Lee of Recite, Howard Meehan and William Freer of Firefly Studio. Next step of the process includes the semifinalists submitting concept designs. We'll keep you updated on the selection process at WRCVTV.com.
Coming up next in sports, the Georgia Bulldogs land another monster recruit at running back.
Plus, Falcons superstar Vic Beasley's words of encouragement to local athletes. Beasley sits down with Paul Shahen at the Best of Preps Banquet. Stay with us.
Be sure and wake up and start your Wednesday morning off with us on Channel 3 Eyewitness News today. Find out what happened overnight while you were sleeping.
David Carnes will check on your hump day forecast. Plus, we're going to let you know if there's anything slowing you down on the roads as you're getting out and about. It all starts at what time, Latrice?
4:30. We'll see you then.
The annual Best of Preps Banquet was another success tonight. Congrats to all the nominees and the winners. And per the norm, the Times Free Press landed another big fish to headline it. It was Atlanta Falcons All-Pro defensive end Vic Beasley. Vic was kind enough to sit down with me for a one-on-one interview earlier this afternoon. Vic Beasley joining us, but not just Vic Beasley. NFL reigning sacks leader Vic Beasley. 15.5 last year. No one had more. Vic, how does that sound when I say it?
It sounds good. It sounds good.
Not the ending you wanted, or after a Super Bowl like that. How long does it take to get over that?
You know, I think it just depends on the individual, how it matters to you. You know, for me, it took quite a while, you know, because I felt like we had that game right in our hands, but we just let it slip away. But, you know, getting back in the spring ball and getting back on the field with my teammates definitely helped to go over pretty well.
Was there a dark time, you know, your toughest moment? Do you remember it, and maybe that's the turning point to getting over it?
I mean, probably just after the game. You know, after the game, those first couple weeks after the game, you know, hearing the radio stations and watching on TV how the Patriots made that amazing comeback.
4 sacks your rookie year to 15.5 your sophomore season with the Atlanta Falcons. What clicked? Did the game slow down?
I think I just gained a lot of experience. Gained a lot of experience from the first year to the second year and worked extremely hard in the offseason. You know, I had a lot of criticism by my first year, and I used that to add fuel to the fire and worked extremely hard. Coaches put countless number of hours in with me, and hey, just continue to work.
You're going to attract more attention, as you did in the postseason after a season like last. You were getting double team, triple team. It's going to be the norm. How will you adjust to that this year?
I just continue to work extremely hard. You know, I got other teammates around me, Grady Jarrett, Dante Poe. I can keep on and naming the great players that we have on our defensive line that'll take pressure off of me.
All right, off the field now. I just noticed online you bought an orange Clemson-themed Camaro.
Originally, that Camaro was black, and, you know, Clemson came across my mind, and I was like, hey, why not go Clemson on this one?
You're no stranger to this area. You played basically football in North Georgia. Any advice for the young pups in this area you're going to see tonight at the Best of Preps?
Yeah, I continue to work very hard. You know, you got your future ahead of you. You know, you can do whatever you want to do in life and be whatever you want to be. Don't let nobody deter you from your goals.
Excellent advice. The Super Bowl, by the way, in Minnesota this year. I'll see you there.
Yes.
He caught on to what he said in that last question after the interview ended and said, hold on, I'm not guaranteeing we're going to be playing in it, but hey, I'll be there nonetheless. In the college ranks now, it was a huge day for the Georgia Bulldogs. Their run of top running back recruits continued today. The Bulldogs earned a verbal commit from Zamir White, the nation's top-ranked running back in the class of 2018. White is a consensus 5-star from Laurinburg, North Carolina. He chose Georgia over the likes of Clemson, North Carolina, Alabama, Ohio State, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Florida, Auburn, and many more. Last year, as a junior, he was averaging nearly 10 yards a carry. He totaled nearly 1,700 yards and rushed for 26 touchdowns. Many are calling him, or drawing comparisons to, rather, current Georgia running back Nick Chubb. On the Big League Diamond, it's going to be a very late night for the Atlanta Braves. They're in San Diego for 3 straight, and then they go to Oakland for 3 more. So it's 6 straight out west. The Braves lead the Padres 2-0 in the 4th inning right now. It was Johan Camargo with the 2-run double for the Atlanta lead. Again, they lead 2-0 in the 4th. Atlanta has won 7 of its last 10 games. They're now just 3 games below 500.
I think it bears repeating again, Vic Beasley did not pull a Joe name, I think, guarantee a Super Bowl.
He did not go Broadway Joe. He might be the best D-end in the league, but he is a humble best D-end in the NFL. I'll tell you what, it was something else talking to him. Such a young kid, but old with knowledge.
Yeah.
He's a great role model for a lot of those young athletes that met him today.
Great to see him around town. All thanks. Paul Barris has your 7-day forecast when we get back.
Well, tomorrow's going to start off very, very nice once again. Around 61 in the city and the 50s away from the city. And we'll be climbing in the mid to upper 80s with lots of sunshine for tomorrow. Very nice looking day. 7-day forecast, a slight chance for showers late Thursday, better chance on Friday, Saturday, slight chance again on Sunday, and humid for next week.
The return of the humidity, Paul, thank you. An elephant panicked, or sparked panic rather, when it wandered into a residential area in India.
No, the elephant wasn't panicked, right?
Not at all.
It was just having a good old time. Made its way through some fields before stopping traffic when it crossed a highway. Made its way back to the forest with the help of police and forest department officials. No property was damaged. Nobody was hurt. We're told increasing human population has depleted the wild animals' habitats and forced them to stray into the populated areas, searching for food and water.
No property was damaged, no people were hurt.
No.
That is just amazing.
Took a little stroll.
A very careful elephant.
It's funny because I think we might have thought that was just kind of a typical scene, but it looks like it created quite a stir.
It was enough to make international headlines, right? That'll do it for Eyewitness News at 11.
Your news continues 24 hours a day at WRCDTV.com. Have a good night.